Chapter 35-34. With the idea of creating an army of purebred divine dragons, Wang Xian was ready to take action immediately. He called Guan Shuqing and the other girls over and explained the situation to them. After all, this seclusion would last at least 500 years, and they had never been separated for so long. Wang Xian wasn't even 100 years old yet. In the great desolate continent, he was still a child who hadn't weaned off his mother's milk. Since it was going to take such a long time, he naturally had to say it. However, he didn't need to cultivate all the time during this closed-door cultivation. He only needed to watch from the side. He could move around in the vicinity, but he couldn't stray too far away. Guan Shuqing and the other girls naturally had no objections, but they had to stay by his side. This kind of thing was not a big problem. In the remaining time, Wang Xian assigned the heavenly array to set up the teleportation formation. The teleportation array from the Heaven Eternal River to the land of Demon Bone and the land of Blood. Because the distance was too far, they needed to set up at least a few dozen teleportation arrays, and it would take them 3 to 4 years to set up. Wang Xian did not wait for him to set up the teleportation formation. Instead, he led the group of girls and flew towards the land of Devil Bones. When they arrived at the blood pool of the land of Devil Bones, Wang Xian brought them to the bottom of the ground. Subsequently, the branches of the progenitor tree reached down and began to condense the blood-refining fruit. Guan Shuqing and the other girls started to build the surroundings. Not long after, they had transformed this place into a cozy little palace. At the top of the palace, the Water Tentacle King laid there silently, acting as a gatekeeper. Only Wang Xian and his group would dare to build a palace in the land of blood. Even the Spirit Demon King and the others wouldn't dare to be so presumptuous in the blood pool. But Wang Xian had no scruples. Even the land of Demon Bone might have a true ruler of the universe. With Wang Xian's own strength and the Aqua Tentacle King's, he could totally take on a true universe dominator. This wasn't Wang Xian's own guess, but what the King of Water Tentacles had said. After all, she used to be a true cosmic dominator-level astral beast. Wang Xian, the 5 elements grindstone, the unbeginning sacred wings, the Tai Chi dragon coil, the dark ghost doppelganger, Lingling, and the Aqua Tentacle King. He had too many trump cards. Next, Wang Xian and the rest settled down in the land of blood. A blood refinement fruit could be born every 6 months or so. Time passed very quickly. Wang Xian and the rest would have some entertainment and group cultivation every day. As for group cultivation, do you understand dual cultivation? Wang Xian and the rest were prepared to wait until they reached the true universe dominator realm before they could get their hands on some small divine dragons. Time passed very quickly in the universe, and the interior of the great wilderness continent also fell into a short period of peace. The battle formation between Dragon Palace and the 100 Cities Alliance had ended. In the war between the ancestral dragon lineage and the sacred dragon lineage, other than some fights between disciples, there were very few universe ruler-level battles. 500 years passed by quickly, and the number of blood refinement fruits in Wang Xian's hands had reached close to 1,000. However, Wang Xian did not stop, because for the time being, there was nothing to do in the Dragon Palace. The members of the Dragon Palace also stepped into the inner part of the chaotic continent to train. Most of them entered the seas of the mountains and seas. The seas were the final home of the mystical dragon clan. In the past, the Divine Dragon clan had occupied Divine Dragon Island in the mountains and seas. As for the current situation on Divine Dragon Island, no one knew. 500 years had passed, and Wang Xian did not stop. 1,000 years passed in the blink of an eye. Very quickly, 1,000 years had passed. Ha ha ha, Ancestral Dragon King, I am finally going to slaughter you. I am finally going to slaughter you. At the same time, on the beach at the edge of the mountains and seas, a maniacal laughter was heard. A sacred light divine dragon was suspended in the sky, and around him was a dazzling dragon ball. Beside the dragon ball, there was a pair of horrifying light dragon eyes. Not only that, beside the dragon ball and the 2 dragon eyes, there was a book. It was a book of light. On it was written the Book of Taboo. Beside the Book of Taboo, there was a light mountain peak. Each of the treasures contained a terrifying amount of energy. Every one of them was an innate cardinal treasure. 4 innate cardinal treasures were suspended around the sacred Dragon King, giving off a terrifying aura. Below, there were 5 corpses, and each of them was a purebred divine dragon. 2 light divine dragons, 1 earth divine dragon, 1 gold divine dragon, and 1 fire dragon. In the middle of these 5 corpses, there was a huge divine dragon, water divine dragon, the leader of the ancestral dragon lineage. At this moment, he was extremely weak, and his body was filled with horrifying wounds. If I wasn't severely injured, how would I be killed by a lackey like you? You tarnished the bloodline of the divine dragon. The ancestral dragon leader said indignantly. He was indignant to die at the hands of a lackey. Lackey, you're courting death. In the future, I will spread your bones in my Dragon King Hall. I will step on you forever. When the sacred Dragon King heard his words, he roared furiously. Ha ha ha, a lackey will always be a lackey. You've forgotten the glory of your ancestors' bloodline. Although I will die today, the glory of the bloodline of the divine dragon lineage will never be covered in dust. In the future, there will be a divine dragon who will kill you and wash away the contamination of the divine dragon bloodline by a lackey like you. The ancestral dragon leader roared with a maniacal smile. He firmly believed that the glory of the divine dragon lineage would come. You talk too much nonsense. Die for this king. When the sacred Dragon King heard the ancestral dragon leader's words, his eyes were filled with rage. He waved his dragon claws and the dragon ball above his head attacked the ancestral dragon leader. The ancestral dragon leader looked at the attack indifferently and quickly sent out a message. Boom. With a heavy blow, the ancestral dragon leader's vitality slowly disappeared. The leader of the ancestral dragon generation, who had great ambitions and inherited the divine dragon's will, died just like that. This represented the end of an era for the divine dragon lineage. It represented the death of a belief of the divine dragon lineage. Ha ha ha, the divine dragon lineage is revered by me. Ancestral Dragon King die. The sacred Dragon King looked at the corpse below, and could not help but laugh maniacally. Finally, he had finally killed the ancestral dragon. In the future, no one in the divine dragon lineage would be his match. As for the Dragon Palace and the Dragon King, could they compare to the glorious ancestral Dragon King? The leader of the ancestral dragon lineage had been killed. The sacred Dragon King naturally would not hide this news. Soon, the photo of the ancestral dragon leader's corpse was sent to the universe AI. On this day, thousands of dragons roared. Countless divine dragons shed tears. Countless disciples of the divine dragon lineage cried out in sorrow. They roared angrily. They had never imagined that their leader would be killed by the sacred Dragon King. However, the Universe Lord level experts of the ancestral dragon lineage received a message from their ancestral dragon leader. Before he died, there was only one message. It was not to avenge him, nor was it to destroy the sacred dragon lineage. It was to be careful of the phoenix. Chapter 35:35. SSS, the leader of the ancestral dragon, has been killed by the Holy Dragon King. This is unbelievable. The king of the ancestral dragon bloodline. He was an expert with great ambitions and the demeanor of a peerless divine dragon king, but he was actually killed. How is this possible? The leader of the ancestral dragon is an extremely powerful expert. In my opinion, unless a universe ruler realm expert makes a move, it would be very difficult to kill him. What the hell is going on? The leader of the ancestral dragon was killed just like that. I'm afraid the war between the sacred dragon bloodline and the ancestral dragon bloodline will end with the sacred dragon bloodline's victory. I really didn't expect that the divine dragon bloodline might be the one to rule. There's also the Dragon Palace. The Dragon Palace doesn't seem to be on good terms with the sacred dragon lineage. The leader of the ancestral dragon has been killed. What is the Dragon Palace? Although the Dragon Palace has displayed great strength, there is still a huge gap between them and the ancestral dragon bloodline. That Dragon King is even more incomparable to the ancestral dragon chief. The sacred dragon is going to be the king of the divine dragon bloodline. On the universe AI, the news of the ancestral dragon bloodline leader's death caused a huge uproar. The leader of the ancestral dragon bloodline was once hailed as the strongest under the universe ruler realm. He was said to be a divine dragon who had the potential to step into the universe ruler realm. He was known as the hope of the divine dragon bloodline. But now he had been killed. Killed by the Holy Dragon King. This made many people feel regretful. Compared to the Holy Dragon King, they hoped that the ancestral dragon leader could win. This was because the Holy Dragon bloodline had clearly become the angels' lackeys. As for the ancestral dragon leader, he said that everyone could become a dragon, showing his strong ambition and breadth of mind, gaining the admiration of many experts and disciples. Now he had actually fallen. The fall of the ancestor dragon leader also represents the fall of the divine dragon bloodline's final hope. In the future, the divine dragon bloodline will probably never reach its peak again. An expert on the universe's AI said. This statement was agreed upon by many experts and disciples of the various races. The ancestral dragon leader's strength and breadth of mind were worthy of being the king of the divine dragon lineage. Unfortunately, the king was dead. From now on, the ancestral dragon's bloodline would either be hunted down by the sacred dragon's bloodline, or be disbanded. That was because their backbone had fallen. Wuxia had been here for 1,000 years, located in the land of blood. In these 1,000 years, he had harvested 2,000 blood refinement fruits. This also meant that the Dragon Palace could give birth to 2,000 purebred divine dragons. Originally, he was going to continue his seclusion. The fact that they had built a palace here in the land of blood attracted the attention of many living beings in the land of blood. There were demon skeletons, desolate beasts, and skeleton experts. At first, there were some creatures that came to harass them, but after the Water Tentacle King easily killed them, it became a forbidden area. It became a special forbidden area in the land of blood. Buzz buzz. Wuxia, who was prepared to stay here for another few thousand years, received a message from Prime Minister Turtle. The news was about the death of the leader of the ancestral dragon bloodline. When he saw the news, he was also slightly stunned and his face revealed a startled expression. The leader of the ancestral dragon bloodline was actually dead. He actually died. When he first stepped into the interior of the chaotic continent and heard that anyone could become a dragon, he admired the leader of the dragon ancestors' bloodline. From the words of Qing Longyue and the rest, he could tell the respect they had for their leader. The leader of the ancestral dragon, who had the demeanor of a king, was killed by the sacred dragon king. The sacred dragon king killed the leader of the ancestral dragon. Wuxia was also shocked by the news. He took a deep breath and switched on the Universe Intelligence Network. When he saw the message, he couldn't help but feel a little regretful. Such a hero had died just like that. Moreover, he died in the hands of the traitor of the divine dragon bloodline. What a pity. Xiaoxian, what's wrong? Guan Shuqing and the other girls looked at him and asked doubtfully. Take a look at the message on the Universe Intelligence Network. Wuxia said to them. The leader of the ancestral dragon was killed by the sacred dragon king. Soon the exclamations of the girls could be heard. Wuxia hesitated for a moment. He opened the communication channel of Qing Longyue and sent a message. He wanted to confirm the authenticity of this news. At the same time, in a green dragon palace, a group of disciples of the divine dragon bloodline, led by Qing Longyue, were kneeling in the palace. They were facing the same direction with tears on their faces. They were paying their respects to their leader, their king. Senior, the Dragon King has sent an inquiry. When Qing Longyue saw Wuxia's message, he looked to Qing Longyue. I've received it too. Qing Longyue nodded. Senior, are we going to tell the Dragon King about the last message from our leader? Qing Longyue couldn't help but ask. Although they didn't understand the specific meaning of the last message, it was extremely important for their leader to pass on the last message before his death. The Dragon King is on the same side as us. Qing Longyue remained silent for a moment before saying, Our leader has fallen. The future of the divine dragon bloodline lies with the few seniors and the Dragon King. In that case, I'll tell the Dragon King about this. Qing Longyue said. Qing Longyue nodded. We can't tell anyone about this. However, the Dragon King is still trustworthy. As expected, he really died. In the blood pool, Wuxia soon received Qing Longyue's reply. When he saw the confirmation, he was filled with mixed feelings. A king of a generation had passed away. Ha! Right at this moment, Azure Dragon Moon suddenly sent him another message, causing him to falter slightly. Wang Xian's eyes widened in shock when he saw this message. It was the message that the ancestral dragon leader had warned them before his death. Beware of the phoenix? Beware of the phoenix? Wang Xian murmured as his expression changed. Why should they be wary of the phoenix? Since ancient times, there were some races in the universe that used the dragon and phoenix as their totems. As the saying went, the dragon and phoenix bring prosperity. According to the records of the divine dragon bloodline, the divine dragon bloodline and the phoenix bloodline had a close relationship. Now the ancestral dragon leader suddenly sent the words beware of the phoenix. What did this mean? Why would he send such a message? What kind of signal was it? Could it be that the phoenix bloodline was not to be trusted? Or could it be that the phoenixes were trying to harm the divine dragons? Or was the phoenix bloodline being unfavorable to the divine dragon bloodline? The phoenix bloodline was in existence from the same era as the divine dragon bloodline. They were also one of the more powerful top races. The phoenix bloodline was reborn from the dead. Wang Xian shook his head and committed this message to memory. He no longer thought about this matter. The phoenix bloodline was not something he could touch now. I wonder what the divine dragon bloodline will do next? Where will the ancestral dragon bloodline go? He murmured. Chapter 35-36. Let's go back to the Dragon Palace first. After receiving the news of the ancestral dragon leader being killed, Wang Xian did not continue his seclusion. There should be some changes in the divine dragon bloodline after this. The Dragon Palace had a grudge against the sacred dragon bloodline. Now that the leader of the ancestral dragon bloodline had been killed, it could be said that the ancestral dragon bloodline had lost this war. Would the sacred dragon bloodline deal with the Dragon Palace next? Would the sacred dragon lineage attack the divine dragon lineage wantonly? Although it was not clear, the Dragon Palace had to make some preparations. The girls nodded and returned to the Dragon Palace in a flash. Dragon King. Upon arriving at the Dragon Palace, Prime Minister Turtle immediately came to Wang Xian and greeted him respectfully. And Wang Xian nodded. How's the improvement of the purebred divine dragons in the Dragon Palace? Dragon King, their battle prowess has already reached the peak of the universe supremacy level. Prime Minister Turtle immediately reported. Over the past 1,000 years, whenever Wang Xian obtained some blood-refining fruits, he would send them to the Dragon Palace, so that some disciples of the Dragon Palace could evolve into purebred divine dragons. In 1,000 years, the number of purebred divine dragons in the Dragon Palace had reached 2,000. 2,000 purebred divine dragons. Even if the total number of purebred divine dragons from the ancestral dragon lineage and the sacred dragon lineage were added together, it still wouldn't be that many. Moreover, the Dragon Palace's resources were mainly focused on them, allowing them to reach the peak of the universe venerable realm. Out of 2,000 purebred divine dragons, a mutated divine dragon was born. Frost Divine Dragon. North Frost. Bei Shuang was the only female disciple of Wang Xian. She possessed a mutated frost constitution. In the past, after she joined the Dragon Palace, she had the opportunity to become a mutated frost divine dragon. But in the end, something was still missing. Now this missing ingredient had been filled. Among the 2,000 purebred divine dragons, Bei Shuang was the only mutant divine dragon. Mutated divine dragons were exceptionally powerful. However, his current combat power was only at the second-order universe sovereign realm. It wouldn't be easy for him to break through to the universe ruler realm. However, when she reached the pinnacle of the universe supremacy realm, she could already fight against a universe ruler realm expert. He still needed a lot of resources to reach this step. Prime Minister Turtle passed down the order. Pay more attention to the sacred dragon bloodline and the ancestral dragon bloodline. If they make any moves, we'll be ready. Wang Xian continued instructing Prime Minister Turtle. It's Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle nodded. Wang Xian took out the Universe AI and sent some messages to Azure Dragon Moon, Azure Dragon Suing, and the rest. The leader of the ancestral dragon bloodline had been killed. He wanted to know where the rest of the ancestral dragon bloodline's experts and disciples should go. Azure Dragon Suing and the others quickly replied. For the time being, there was no response from the ancestral dragon lineage. Currently, the ancestral dragon bloodline was like a group of dragons without a leader. However, the ancestral dragon bloodline still had over a dozen third-order sovereigns. They were still waiting for their seniors' orders. Whether it was to avenge the leader or something else, it was up to these seniors to make arrangements. As for the other experts of the divine dragon bloodline, they did not have the strength or authority to regroup them. Clearly, the death of their leader, coupled with the fact that the ancestral dragon bloodline had been separated for a long time, caused the ancestral dragon bloodline to be unable to react immediately. Now that the ancestral dragon bloodline is like a group of dragons without a leader, pass down my orders. The sacred dragon bloodline will unify the divine dragon bloodline. Those who don't join the sacred dragon bloodline will be the enemy of the sacred dragon bloodline. As for the enemy, the sacred dragon bloodline will annihilate them. At the same time, the sacred dragon king, who was in the Radiance God Mountain's sacred dragon bloodline, gave an order. His eyes were cold. The current divine dragon bloodline only had the Radiance divine dragon, the ancestral dragon bloodline, and the dragon palace. The leader of the ancestral dragon bloodline had been killed. There was no longer any threat. And with the leader of the ancestral dragon bloodline dead, the sacred dragon king felt that no one could threaten them. The ancestral dragon bloodline was their enemy. Needless to say, the dragon palace was also their enemy. Since they were all enemies, they could either submit or die. Taking advantage of the time when the leader of the ancestral dragon bloodline was killed, he would completely unify the divine dragon bloodline. As long as he unified the divine dragon bloodline, he would be the king of the divine dragon bloodline. Therefore, he gave such an order. Those from the divine dragon bloodline would either join the sacred dragon bloodline or die. Yes, sacred dragon king. The powerful figures of the sacred dragon bloodline answered excitedly. Haha, once we kill those who refuse to submit, we will represent the divine dragon clan. The sacred dragon bloodline will also change its name to the divine dragon clan. The sacred dragon king laughed heartily. His eyes were filled with excitement. Father, give all members of the divine dragon bloodline a year to consider. 1 year later, I will personally go to war and help you unify the divine dragon clan. Below him, Sun Xinglong's face was filled with respect and fighting spirit as he spoke. All right. The sacred dragon king smiled. Once the leader of the ancestral dragon bloodline is dead, I will give you the Khanate cardinal treasure. No one will be your match. The sacred dragon bloodline will definitely be able to unify the divine dragon bloodline. However, it is a pity that we did not obtain any information about the ancestral dragon kingdom from the ancestral dragon king. It is not that easy to obtain the ancestral water dragon kingdom. However, in the future, the ancestral water dragon kingdom will definitely belong to you, Father. The sacred dragon's son sucked up to him. The sacred dragon king nodded slightly, and a smile appeared on his face. After all, the ancestral water dragon kingdom belonged to the disciples of the divine dragon bloodline. It was impossible for others to covet it. As long as he unified the divine dragon bloodline, the ancestral water dragon kingdom would definitely belong to him. On the universe AI, the death of the leader of the ancestral dragon bloodline was still the most shocking news. Countless experts and disciples of the various factions were discussing it. Not long after, another piece of news caused another huge uproar. This news was released by the sacred dragon bloodline. The sacred dragon bloodline was recruiting all members of the divine dragon bloodline. In 1 year, they would completely destroy the enemies of the sacred dragon bloodline. This piece of information caused many experts' faces to be filled with shock. The sacred dragon bloodline's announcement was very obvious. They wanted to unify the divine dragon bloodline. Those who joined the sacred dragon bloodline within a year were not enemies. Those who did not join were all enemies. While everyone was shocked by the sacred dragon bloodline's news, they also felt that it was reasonable. Currently, the sacred dragon bloodline was the strongest. Especially the sacred dragon king. He was almost invincible below the universe ruler realm. After the leader of the ancestral dragon bloodline was killed by him, He was an invincible existence in the divine dragon bloodline. It was reasonable for an invincible existence to make such a statement. Soon, this news spread throughout the entire universe AI. Wuxia also received this news at the first instance. Indeed, the sacred dragon bloodline was going to attack all the disciples and experts of the divine dragon bloodline. Chapter 35-37. Dragon King, the sacred dragon bloodline is obviously declaring war on US by making such a statement. Within the Dragon Palace, all the members had received this message. Prime Minister Turtle raised his eyebrows slightly when he saw this message. Prime Minister Turtle had also sent people to conduct a comprehensive understanding of the sacred dragon bloodline. Based on his analysis, the Dragon Palace had nothing to fear. Most importantly, the strength of the Dragon King, Aqua King, and Sky Formation could not be measured with common sense. If they want to fight, we'll fight with them. Wuxia said plainly. They did not take the sacred dragon bloodline's statement to heart. With his current strength, even if the sacred Dragon King came, Wuxia had a 70% chance of annihilating him. If he joined forces with the Aqua King, Wuxia had a 100% chance of annihilating him. Although the sacred Dragon King had killed the leader of the ancestral dragon bloodline, he did not believe that the sacred Dragon King would be his match. Especially with the addition of the Aqua King. One should know that the Aqua King was a true galactic beast at the Universe Lord realm. Now that she had recovered to the pinnacle of the Universe Supremacy realm, she was no match for those at the same level. She was an old monster that had lived for billions of years. Her accumulation and talent were terrifying. In Wuxia's opinion, the leader of the ancestral dragon bloodline would at most be on par with the Aqua King if he used the inborn cardinal treasure. After all, the Aqua King's previous realm and strength were all there. Get all the disciples of the Dragon Palace back and get ready for battle. Wuxia ordered. If the sacred dragon bloodline's lair was not at the Light God Mountain, Wuxia would have gone to their lair. He wanted to experience the strength of the sacred Dragon King. However, the sacred dragon bloodline was at the Light God Mountain. The defense and attack methods of that place could easily annihilate Wuxia. But as long as they attacked, as long as they declared war, the Dragon Palace would fight them to the end. Yes, Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle nodded. Let me contact the ancestral dragon bloodline and see what their response is. Wuxia took out the Universe AI and sent a message to Azure Dragon Shadow and the rest. Hiss, the sacred dragon bloodline is about to take action. Those who submit will prosper, and those who oppose will perish. The sacred Dragon King wants to unify the mystical dragon bloodline. Unify the divine dragon lineage. The Holy Dragon King wants to be the king of the divine dragon lineage. The war might start again. There are still many experts in the ancestral dragon bloodline, especially many trusted aides of the ancestral dragon leader. I reckon that a war will break out at that time. The ancestral dragon leader is already dead. How long can the ancestral dragon bloodline last? What's more, the Dragon Palace has also been implicated. The sacred dragon bloodline clearly wants to destroy the Dragon Palace. The battle for the throne of the divine dragon lineage has begun. However, if the sacred dragon lineage wins, the divine dragon lineage will never be able to return to its peak. When the ancestral dragon chief was still alive, there was still hope for him to lead the divine dragon clan back to the peak. Now that he has fallen, it is basically impossible for the divine dragon clan to return to the peak. While Wuxia was contacting Azure Dragon Suing and the rest, countless experts and disciples from various forces were discussing on the AI. In the interior of the great desolate continent, many living beings admired the ancestral dragon chief. They recognized the strength and ambition of the ancestral dragon leader. To them, the ancestral dragon leader was the only hope of the divine dragon clan. As for the sacred dragon king, he had already become a lackey. Once he unified the divine dragon clan, it would represent the decline of the divine dragon clan. However, now that the ancestral dragon leader had fallen, the hope of the divine dragon clan was mostly gone. As for the Dragon Palace and the Dragon King, they did not think that the Dragon King was very strong. They did not think that the hope of the divine dragon clan lay in the Dragon Palace. The main reason was that even though the leader of the ancestral dragon bloodline was dead, the ancestral dragon bloodline was still much stronger than the Dragon Palace. The current Dragon Palace was still the weakest among the three forces. Therefore, the experts from the other races in the universe did not think that the Dragon Palace would win. At the same time, at the bottom of the sea in the land of mountains and seas, there was a Dragon Palace. This was a golden Dragon Palace, emitting a majestic aura. In the Dragon King Palace of the Golden Dragon Palace, hundreds of experts from the ancestral dragon bloodline gathered. Among them, Azure Dragon Su Ying and Azure Dragon Yu were here. On the dragon throne of the Dragon King Palace sat a burly old man. The old man was in human form, with a pair of towering dragon horns on his head. This was a senior of the ancestral dragon bloodline, a third-order universe sovereign expert. He was also one of the dozen or so third-order universe sovereigns in the ancestral dragon bloodline. There were more than 100 experts from the ancestral dragon bloodline gathered here. The death of the ancestral dragon leader and the announcement from the sacred dragon bloodline caused the peak experts of the ancestral dragon bloodline to become restless. The scattered disciples of the ancestral dragon bloodline began to gather. Senior Golden Dragon King, we must take revenge for our leader. Inside the Dragon King Palace, an old man stood in front of the crowd, his face filled with grief and indignation. Fight the sacred dragon bloodline to the end. Even if we die, we must make them pay the price. The death of our leader is a blood feud for all of us ancestral dragon bloodline disciples. We naturally have to take revenge. The burly old man on the dragon throne was expressionless. To be able to cultivate to such a realm, he no longer had any impulsiveness or rage. He looked at all the disciples with the divine dragon bloodline, as though he was looking at his own children. What we have to face now is how to deal with the sacred dragon bloodline, he said slowly. He was very clear that the death of their leader had put them at a complete disadvantage. They were no longer a match for the sacred dragon bloodline. What they had to consider now was how to deal with the attack of the sacred dragon bloodline. Senior Golden Dragon King, where are the other seniors? If we join forces, it won't be easy for the sacred dragon bloodline to deal with us. One of the ancestral dragon bloodline asked. As for the other dozen, 3 of them are in seclusion. I don't know where they are. The rest are also gathering. This time, we will join forces. When the time comes, we will discuss how to counterattack. The Golden Dragon King did not hide anything. Senior Golden Dragon King, we just received a message from the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. He asked us how to deal with the attack of the sacred dragon bloodline. I think we can join forces with the Dragon Palace. At this time, the green dragon whiskered shadow in the center saw the message and said, "Ah, Dragon Palace? Su Ying, you know the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace?" The Golden Dragon King's eyes flickered as he asked. Yes, we have a good relationship with the Dragon King. Moreover, the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace is on the same side as us. The green dragon whiskered shadow nodded. Based on the strength that the Dragon Palace has displayed, they should have at least 3 third-order universe sovereigns. They are indeed a formidable force. Where is the Dragon Palace now? The Golden Dragon King asked. At the Eternal River of Heaven. The green dragon whiskered shadow replied. The Eternal River of Heaven is too far. It will take more than a year to fly there. The Golden Dragon King frowned slightly. Chapter 35-38. The inner regions of the Great Desolate Continent were usually very far from each other. Even at his current speed, it would take him over a year to travel from his Golden Dragon King Dragon Palace to the Eternal River. And this was under the condition of using the teleportation array in the middle. Without the teleportation array, it would take at least 7 to 8 years of flight. It is indeed quite far. Azure Dragonbeard Shadow and the others also frowned slightly. Currently, the ancestral dragon bloodline was very passive. The group of third-order sovereigns from the ancestral dragon bloodline did not dare to gather together. Once they gathered together and their location was known to the sacred dragon bloodline, the sacred dragon king would immediately lead the powerful warriors over. They would not be a match for them. However, there were also disadvantages to splitting up in this situation. If they were too far away, It would be very difficult to send reinforcements. If they gathered together, they would be afraid of being caught in one fell swoop. If they dispersed, they would be afraid of being defeated one by one. It was very difficult for the ancestral dragon lineage now. Master Golden Dragon King, if our ancestral dragon bloodline gathers all of our power together with the power of the Dragon Palace, perhaps we'll be able to resist the Holy Dragon bloodline. The Green Dragon Whiskered Shadow said, if the Dragon Palace has 3 or 4 third-order sovereigns, we might be able to hold them off if we work together. The Golden Dragon King was silent for a moment before nodding in response. Virtual Shadow, little you, both of you go to the Dragon Palace and communicate with the Dragon Palace on behalf of the ancestral dragon lineage. I'll talk to the other Dragon Kings. 1 year later, based on the situation, if it really doesn't work, we'll join forces. The Golden Dragon King continued. Yes, Senior Golden Dragon King. Let's go to the Dragon Palace right now. Azure Dragon Moon nodded. Go, be careful. The Golden Dragon King waved a hand, and the Azure Dragon Shadow and Azure Dragon Moon bowed toward him. Then he bowed to the surrounding experts and left immediately. I hope the strength of the Dragon Palace will not disappoint us. The Golden Dragon King murmured to himself. Azure Dragon's whiskers rushed to the Dragon Palace after they left. In other places, the experts and disciples of the ancestral dragon bloodline were gathered in the Dragon Palaces of various third-order sovereigns. According to the situation, they would deal with the sacred dragon bloodline's next attack. In the Dragon Palace at the Eternal River of Heaven, Wang Xian's eyes flickered when he received the replies from Green Dragon Beard Shadow and the rest. The current situation of the ancestral dragon bloodline was indeed a little complicated. They did not have a strong base and did not have the combat power to contend against the Holy Dragon King. He couldn't gather them together, nor could he scatter them. He could only act according to the situation a year later. Then let's wait for a year. Wang Xian murmured. Now the Dragon Palace was in a passive position. They could not go to the Light God Mountain, so they could only wait for the other party to attack first. However, the spiked dragons of the Dragon Palace would be scattered in the surrounding areas, monitoring every movement around the Dragon Palace. A year's time was very short. 10 months later, at the Radiant God Mountain, the son of the Divine Dragon stood before a divine hall. He stood in the middle, and around him stood 10 middle-aged men with terrifying auras. They were the pinnacle experts of the sacred dragon bloodline. The sacred dragon king sat on the throne in front of the temple, looking at his son with dignity. Imperial Father, in this expedition, I will definitely subdue the divine dragon bloodline. Those who submit to the holy dragon bloodline will prosper, and those who oppose us will die. Sun Shenglong cupped his hands respectfully. The ancestral dragon leader has already been eliminated by my father. Leave the rest to me. Ha, good. Leave the rest to my son. The sacred dragon king laughed heartily as he spoke. Imperial Father, wait for my good news. Sun Shenglong said confidently. This time he would lead 10 third-order universe sovereigns from the sacred dragon bloodline into the expedition personally. He would eliminate all those who resisted. He wanted the sacred dragon bloodline to unify the divine dragon tribe. I will wait here for your good news. The Life Dragon King said with a smile. Yes. Sun Shenglong immediately replied as he swept his gaze across the experts around him. Let's go. Our first target is that old man in seclusion. I want to kill him personally. Sun Shenglong said confidently. All right, this time, we will follow you and help the Dragon King conquer the divine dragon tribe. The group of experts from the sacred dragon bloodline smiled faintly and flew out immediately. Outside, 42nd Order Universe sovereigns followed suit as they flew out. Today was the 10th month since the sacred dragon bloodline announced the unification of the divine dragon tribe. It was also the last 2 months before they decided to take action. Sun Shenglong set off now because he had found a target. An expert from the ancestral dragon bloodline that had been in seclusion for millions of years. A third-order universe sovereign from the ancestral dragon bloodline. He wanted to kill this third-order universe sovereign to start the war for the sacred dragon bloodline to unify the divine dragon tribe. He wanted to warn the disciples of the divine dragon tribe that those who submitted would prosper, and those who opposed would perish. Sun Shenglong led the experts from the sacred dragon bloodline to launch an attack. In front of him, a dragon head ruler appeared out of nowhere. The entire ruler emitted dense radiance energy. As long as there was light, the ruler would be able to find experts with the divine dragon bloodline. This treasure was given to the sacred dragon bloodline by the King of Angels. There were originally two, and they were known as the Seeking Dragon Ruler. It was a pity that one of them had been lost by that trash from the 100 City Alliance. It should have been obtained by the Dragon Palace. However, this was not a big deal, as they still had a mother ruler. Sun Shenglong and the rest flew swiftly above the mainland, using radiance energy to conceal themselves. Time passed slowly, and 2 months passed in the blink of an eye. 2 months later, exactly 1 year had passed since the sacred dragon bloodline's announcement. In the sky above a huge lake, Sun Shenglong and the rest slowly appeared. They looked at the lake below, and their faces were filled with coldness and awe. The lake below was called the Crouching Dragon Lake. When the Divine Dragon tribe was still around, this was the residence of the Dragon Palace's Dragon King. After the Divine Dragon tribe perished, this place was occupied by another tribe, an advanced tribe, the Aqua Cloud tribe. The entire lake was shrouded in mist, and the mist was filled with mystery. Sun Shenglong knew that the Aqua Cloud tribe had been subdued by the expert from the ancestral dragon bloodline. And that expert was currently in seclusion at the deepest part of the Crouching Dragon Lake. Kiki, I'll kill you first to warn the rest of the experts with the divine dragon bloodline. Sun Shenglong chuckled, and signaled to the experts from the sacred dragon bloodline. In the next instant, 10 Third Order Universe Sovereigns, and over 20 Second Order Universe Sovereigns all roared in unison. They roared in unison and transformed into their divine dragon forms. A wave of terrifying pressure engulfed the area below. Chapter 35-39. Boom boom boom. The sky above the water cloud race was instantly enveloped by a terrifying aura. There were 10 Third Order Universe Sovereigns, and over 20 Second Order Universe Sovereigns. With so many experts hovering in the air, just the aura alone was enough to evaporate the clouds above the Crouching Dragon Lake, disappearing without a trace. A terrifying pressure rushed down from the sky. The lake water started to churn and rumble. The terrifying aura caused everything in the surroundings to seem to solidify. With 10 Third Order Universe Sovereigns sealing off an area, even 2 or 3 Third Order Universe Sovereigns would not be able to escape. In a battle of the same realm, 3 against 1 would not even give the opponent a chance to escape before they were killed. Furthermore, according to the news that the Holy Dragon Prince and the rest received, the expert from the ancestral dragon bloodline was in seclusion here. This was the Dragon Palace of the ancestral dragon expert. Lord, did our water cloud race offend you? If we did, we are willing to compensate. Within the Crouching Dragon Lake, when the terrifying aura rushed downwards, the disciples within the water cloud race held their breaths. Some of the weaker disciples even died on the spot. 5 figures from the water cloud race flew out of the lake, their faces covered in cold sweat as they shouted in fear. The water cloud race had half a human's body and half a fish's body. They looked a little like mermaids. They laid on the surface of the water respectfully. Under the pressure, they were filled with fear. Get that Jia from the ancestral dragon bloodline to come out. Today the Holy Dragon Prince is here to take his head. The Holy Dragon Prince's gaze swept across the 5 water cloud race experts as he barked. Ah! When the 5 water cloud race experts heard this, their pupils constricted. They raised their heads to look at the Holy Dragon Prince, and the group of divine dragons and dragon breeds emitting terrifying auras, and their faces changed. Lord Holy Dragon Prince, this is the territory of our water cloud race. There is no expert from the ancestral dragon bloodline here. The elder in the middle of the water cloud race said respectfully, "Ha ha ha, not coming out? If you don't come out, I will annihilate your entire water cloud race today." When the Holy Dragon Prince heard their words, his face was filled with a cold expression. He extended his arm, and his arm turned into a terrifying dragon claw as he slashed towards the 5 water cloud race experts. No. The 5 experts from the Water Cloud clan were merely at the First Order Universe Sovereign Realm. Sensing Sun Sheng's attack, their faces revealed looks of despair. Boom. However, Before they could react, the light dragon claw landed on their bodies and instantly obliterated them. At the same time, the radiant dragon claw attacked the crouching dragon lake at a terrifying speed. Lord Holy Dragon Son, we really don't have the ancestral dragon powerhouse that you mentioned. At the bottom of the crouching dragon lake, a few hundred figures blocked the terrifying dragon claw and shouted loudly, "If not, then I'll annihilate your Water Cloud clan." Roar. Sun Shenglong's eyes were filled with disdain and killing intent. He looked down as though he was looking at a bunch of ants. He immediately transformed into his divine dragon form and said, "A bunch of reckless fools. Today, I will exterminate your entire clan. Sun Shenglong, you're courting death." At this moment, a violent voice came from below, and a terrifying figure with a sky-blue dragon's head and a special fishtail flew out from inside. He had a huge body that was tens of thousands of meters long, and his body emitted blue light. "Ha ha ha, Jia of the ancestral dragon bloodline. You're really here." Sun Shenglong laughed maniacally when he saw the figure that flew out. The ancestral dragon bloodline powerhouse, Jia, looked at the group of radiant divine dragons and dragon species in the sky, and his eyes narrowed. "Sun Shenglong, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to become enemies with the ancestral dragon bloodline?" He stared coldly at Sun Shenglong and roared, "Jia, have you turned stupid after being in seclusion? The war between the sacred dragon bloodline and the ancestral dragon bloodline has already erupted for more than 1,000 years. Your ancestral dragon leader has already been annihilated by my father. Ha ha ha, you want me to become enemies with the ancestral dragon bloodline? What a joke." When Sun Shenglong heard his words, he couldn't help but laugh out loud. "That's impossible. How can our ancestral dragon leader be a traitor like you? How can that lackey of the sacred dragon king kill him?" Jia roared in a low voice with a face full of belief. However, just as he finished his sentence, he heard the voice of the Water Cloud clan's leader. The voice rang in his mind. When he heard the news, his expression changed drastically. "That's impossible. How can our ancestral dragon leader be killed by the sacred dragon king?" He roared in disbelief. As he had been in seclusion, the Water Cloud clan couldn't disturb him. Therefore, he had just received the news. This was unbelievable to him. The Lord Ancestral Dragon Leader was actually killed by the Sacred Dragon King. Haha, don't worry. It won't be long before all of the Ancestral Dragon bloodline will accompany your Ancestral Dragon Leader. Jia, I'll give you a chance to choose. Submit to the Sacred Dragon bloodline or die. Sun Shenglong roared with a maniacal smile. Submit to you? Submit to traitors and lackeys like you. A thing that has tarnished the bloodline of the divine dragon? Jiya's eyes turned red as he stared at Sun Shenglong and roared malevolently. You're courting death. Since you've chosen death, I'll fulfill your wish. Today, I'll personally kill you. Sun Shenglong had a stern look in his eyes. He swayed his huge body and attacked Jiya. One-on-one. If you can withstand it, I'll only take your head. If you lose one-on-one, I'll annihilate the entire Water Cloud clan. Ha ha ha. Let's fight. Sun Shenglong roared. He opened his mouth and the Khanate Cardinal Treasure pair of dragon eyes appeared in front of him. His body shook again. A radiant mountain peak that emitted a terrifying aura appeared above his body. The mountain peak also emitted a terrifying aura. 2 Khanate Cardinal Treasures. These were the Khanate Cardinal Treasures that the Sacred Dragon King had given him. With 2 Khanate Cardinal Treasures, the Sun Shenglong was basically invincible. 2 Khanate Cardinal Treasures. When Jia saw the pair of dragon eyes and the radiant mountain peak, his heart raced violently. His eyes revealed an unusually embarrassed look. He was a pinnacle dragon species, and his combat power wasn't any weaker than the light divine dragon. However, he didn't have a terrifying Khanate Cardinal Treasure weapon. With such a weapon, one could kill someone of the same level. Yet he had 2 of them. Kill. However, at this moment, he also knew that his rejection meant that he would definitely die today. However, he didn't want the Water Cloud clan to be implicated. He was filled with the will to die and charged forward. He fought with his life on the line. Chapter 3540. Ha 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 Jia. Even if you put your life on the line, you will still die today. Today, I will use your head to sound the horn of your ancestral dragon bloodline's destruction. I will sound the horn of our sacred dragon bloodline unifying the divine dragon tribe. Sun Shenglong laughed maniacally when he saw Fong charging towards him. With 2 Khanate cardinal treasures, he was not afraid of anyone at the same level as him. One had to know that even a true universe ruler might not have a Khanate cardinal treasure. The reason why the sacred dragon bloodline had so many Khanate cardinal treasures was because the angels had lent them to them. Otherwise, how could they have so many Khanate cardinal treasures? Saint Peak suppress. Seeing the incoming Fong, the son of the holy dragon waved his dragon claw, and the radiant mountain peak immediately emitted a ray of light. The light instantly shone on the sky above Xiaya. Above him, a mountain peak slowly formed. Heavenly water dragon explode. When he saw Sun Shenglong directly using a primordial cardinal treasure, Jiya's expression turned extremely ugly. He instantly executed his nomological Dharma idol to counterattack. Holy Dragon Angel slay. When Sun Shenglong saw him display the nomological law Dharma idol, he also immediately displayed it. Dragon Ball. Fangya roared and spat out a water dragon pearl, which headed straight for the Holy Dragon Angel. Boom! A terrifying sound of collision could be heard, but the shadow of the radiant mountain peak was still forming above Yiya. Suppress. When Sun Shenglong saw this, his face revealed a sinister expression. As the most outstanding son of the Sacred Dragon King, he was second only to the Sacred Dragon King in terms of resources. With his strength, even without relying on a Khanate cardinal treasure, he could be ranked third in the Sacred Dragon lineage. The second one was an old official who followed his father. However, with the primordial cardinal treasure, he was the strongest person apart from his father. With Jiya's strength, even if he didn't rely on a Khanate cardinal treasure, Prince Shenglong had the confidence to suppress him. Not to mention that he had the support of these 2 Khanate cardinal treasures. A radiant mountain peak immediately appeared above Ya. This radiant mountain peak seemed to be able to follow him like a shadow, slowly suppressing his body. Jiya's expression changed drastically, and his eyes were filled with fear. Haha, you want to resist? You're not qualified. I'll kill you in 3 moves. Sun Shenglong looked over with a cold glint in his eyes. He slowly raised his dragon claws, and the pair of dragon eyes in the sky glowed. A ray of light fell on Kuya's body, causing his body to tremble slightly. No. Disciples of the Water Cloud clan run. Jiya's face was filled with despair when he saw Sun Shenglong using the second primordial cardinal treasure. Not good, not good. Our Lord Fong isn't a match for this holy dragon son. He has 2 innate cardinal treasures. Run? How can we escape? The other side has 10 third-order universe sovereigns guarding the area. All disciples, enter the blessed heavenly lands. Down below, the experts and disciples of the Watercloud clan trembled as they watched the battle in the sky. Their faces were filled with despair. Their Lord Fong is completely not this dragon Sun Sheng's match. The twin dragon eye's imprisonment and the Saint Peak's suppression landed on Xiaya's body. His body slowly began to crumble. What happened over there? What's going on? What's going on over at Crouching Dragon Lake? What a terrifying aura. The battle around Crouching Dragon Lake, as well as the terrifying might that erupted from it, attracted the attention of some of the surrounding creatures. They looked over, and their faces were filled with shock. The aura over there was definitely not something an ordinary universe sovereign expert could unleash. Pung. At this moment, a sorrowful roar resounded. It represented the fall of the ancestral dragon bloodline's third-order universe sovereign, Xiaya. Another third-order universe sovereign expert had died. Ha ha ha, a peak-grade dragon species, this dragon son can easily kill it. Sun Shenglong looked at Xiaya's corpse and laughed maniacally. His gaze turned to the Watercloud clan below. Kill, exterminate the Watercloud clan for me. He roared and gave the order to exterminate the entire clan. It's Sun Shenglong. The group of experts from the sacred dragon bloodline responded loudly. They opened their dragon mouths. Boom. A wave of light surged downwards. The lake water evaporated rapidly, and everything below started to melt. The buildings of the Watercloud clan appeared, but in the next second, they disappeared. The blessed heavenly land that could defend against third-order universe sovereigns also started to crumble. Within the blessed heavenly land, all the disciples and experts of the Water Cloud clan revealed looks of despair. They couldn't block it. They couldn't block it at all. Boom. A low rumble resounded. A powerful high-level clan was easily wiped out. 20 over-experts from the sacred dragon bloodline flew downwards, collecting Xiaoya's divine kingdom and the treasures of the Water Cloud clan. Sheng Longzi was full of smiles as he looked at the Yaya corpse in front of him. He took out the Universe AI and took pictures before uploading them to the Universe AI. Sun Shenglong. 1 year has passed. I, Sun Shenglong, will lead the experts from the sacred dragon bloodline to unify the divine dragon clan. Those who submit will prosper. Those who defy will perish. The ancestral dragon bloodline's third-order universe sovereign, Xiaya, was easily beheaded by me. Very quickly a message was sent out on the AI. A message from Sun Shenglong. When this message, along with Xiaoya's corpse, was sent out, it caused a huge uproar. The sacred dragon bloodline had announced a year ago that they wanted to unify the divine dragon clan. Now that 1 year had just passed, Sun Shenglong had directly killed a third-order universe sovereign from the ancestral dragon bloodline. This was too terrifying. Is this real or fake? Is this impossible? A year has just passed, and Sun Shenglong has already killed a pinnacle expert from the ancestral dragon bloodline. Hiss, the sacred dragon bloodline's road to unifying the clan is about to begin, right? The sacred dragon king didn't even make a move. Just Sun Shenglong and his men killed a third-order universe sovereign? Too strong. The battle to unify the sacred dragon bloodline is about to begin. How will the experts from the ancestral dragon bloodline deal with it? Killing a pinnacle expert from the ancestral dragon bloodline at the start, the sacred dragon bloodline is determined to win. On the AI, all the experts and disciples from the various races were filled with shock when they saw Sun Shenglong's message. That was a third-order universe sovereign. Such an expert was definitely a top-tier expert in the universe. As long as the peak races did not appear, they were invincible. They were also the ultimate force of the high-level races. However, a year had just passed, and the son of the holy dragon from the sacred dragon bloodline had already killed one? How terrifying. One could foresee that the sacred dragon bloodline was determined to win this battle. After all, even King Shenglong hadn't made a move, and they already had such a result. Chapter 3541. Holy Dragon Son, where's our next target? In the air above the water cloud race, Shenglong's face was full of smiles as he looked at the universe's AI. It didn't take long for the sacred dragon bloodline's experts to fly over and ask questions. Next target. Holy Dragon Son's eyes flashed. He had quite a bit of information in his hands. He even knew where the dragon palace of the 3 third-order sovereigns was located. He was confident that he could easily wipe them out. As for the others, with the dragon-seeking ruler, they wouldn't be able to escape. Our next target is the Dragon Palace. Since they were able to destroy the 100 Cities Alliance, they should have 3 or 4 third-order sovereigns. Let's start with them. After wiping them out, there should be some fellows from the ancestral dragon bloodline who will join our sacred dragon bloodline. The son of the holy dragon said with a smile. Our target is the Dragon Palace. This is also to prevent them from escaping. Before they escape, we will destroy them. Who knows, they might be preparing to escape. An old man from the sacred dragon bloodline said with a smile. That's possible. An expert from the holy dragon bloodline chuckled. The holy dragon prince killed a third-order sovereign realm expert so easily. The Dragon Palace must be terrified. Hee, regardless of whether they escaped or not, they are our next target. This expert from Dragon Palace killed a few purebred divine dragons of our sacred dragon lineage. This time, I will take the head of the Dragon King from Dragon Palace. Holy Dragon Son laughed coldly and looked to the front. Let's go, we'll set off immediately. Yes. The group of experts from the sacred dragon bloodline replied. Compared to the ancestral dragon bloodline, they did not place the Dragon Palace in their eyes. Holy Dragon Son chose to wipe out the Dragon Palace first, because he wanted to intimidate the disciples of the ancestral dragon bloodline. because the ancestral dragon bloodline had split up, many disciples did not have a strong sense of belonging to the ancestral dragon bloodline. At this time, destroying the dragon palace to establish their prestige would allow more divine dragons to join the sacred dragon lineage. The sacred dragon bloodline was very welcoming towards dragons with the divine dragon bloodline. Flying from the crouching dragon lake to the eternal heaven river would take at least a few decades. Even if they used the teleportation array, it would still take more than a year. Now Sun Xinglong was worried that the Dragon King of Dragon Palace would be too cowardly and lead the experts and disciples of Dragon Palace to escape. Dragon King, 2 green dragons are here to pay their respects. Just as Sun Sheng and the group of experts were rushing towards the Dragon Palace, 2 guests arrived at the Dragon Palace. Azure Dragon Whisker Shadow and Azure Dragon Moon. It took them more than a year to get here from the Golden Dragon Palace. Upon hearing Prime Minister Turtle's report, Wang Xian was shocked. 2 Azure Dragons, they must be the Azure Dragon Beard Shadow and the Azure Dragon Moon. The 2 of them did not inform him of their arrival in advance. Let them in, Wang Xian ordered. Prime Minister Turtle nodded. Soon Azure Dragon Whisker and Azure Dragon Moon entered. Dragon King. When they arrived at the Dragon King Hall, both of them cupped their fists towards Wang Xian. Brother Suing, Brother Qinglongyue, there's no need to be so polite. Wang Xian looked at them and said with a smile. In the Divine Dragon Clan, the strong rule. Brother Wang Xian has already broken through to the Third Order Universe Sovereign Realm. It's only right for us to do the same. Moreover, we are here on behalf of the ancestral dragon bloodline. Azure Dragon Beard Shadow said with a smile. On behalf of the ancestral dragon bloodline? Wang Xian raised an eyebrow. Dragon King, there has been bad news from our ancestral dragon bloodline recently. I believe Dragon King already knows that one of our Third Order Universe sovereigns, Jia, was killed by Sun Sheng and the rest. Azure Dragon Beard Shadow took a deep breath and continued. We are here on the orders of one of our Golden Dragon seniors. Now that the ancestral dragon bloodline is no longer a match for the sacred dragon bloodline, especially the sacred Dragon King, our Golden Dragon seniors want to see if we can join forces to deal with the sacred dragon bloodline. Join forces to deal with the sacred dragon bloodline? That's totally possible. Upon hearing their words, Wang Xian nodded his head immediately. The sacred dragon bloodline wants to unify the Divine Dragon Clan. Those who submit to them will prosper, and those who oppose them will perish. Since we are going to perish together, let's join forces to deal with them. Dragon King, our Golden Dragon seniors have the same idea. However, there's one thing we can't be sure of. If we join forces, we will be able to withstand the attacks of the sacred dragon bloodline. Azure Dragon Beard Shadow said. The reason why the experts of the sacred dragon bloodline haven't joined forces is because we aren't confident of dealing with the sacred Dragon King. Once we join forces, we might be wiped out in one fell swoop. If we join forces, dealing with the sacred dragon bloodline will be a piece of cake. Upon hearing his words, Wang Xian replied confidently. Given the current strength of the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian dared to clash with the sacred dragon bloodline. If the experts of the ancestral dragon bloodline were to join forces, he was confident of suppressing and even defeating the other party. Azure Dragon Shadow, Azure Dragon Moon, was surprised to see Wang Xian's confident expression. In that case, we will send the news to our Golden Dragon seniors. As for the specific details of the alliance, we will need Dragon King to discuss it with our Golden Dragon seniors. Azure Dragon Beard Shadow said. Wang Xian nodded his head. Wang Xian felt that it would be easy to deal with the sacred dragon bloodline by joining forces with the ancestral dragon bloodline. The only problem would be if the angel race would send some of their affiliated high-level races to assist the sacred dragon bloodline. There were many affiliated high-level races under the angel race. The sacred dragon bloodline had only recently attached itself to them. Among the affiliated races, there were some that were comparable to the sacred dragon bloodline, and some were even stronger. After all, the rise of the sacred dragon bloodline wasn't long ago. The former leader of the ancestral dragon might have thought of this as well. This was probably one of the reasons why he didn't gather the disciples of the ancestral dragon experts. The other experts of the ancestral dragon also understood this. However, with the situation at this stage, some considerations couldn't be considered anymore. Dragon King, please get on the Universe AI. Our Golden Dragon seniors and the other experts would like to communicate with you on the Universe AI. Soon, Azure Dragon Moon said to Wang Xian. Alright. Wang Xian nodded his head, and Azure Dragon Moon pulled him into a group chat. There were 15 people in it. Wang Xian's mind entered the Universe AI. The scene before him changed, and he appeared in a special space. Welcome, Dragon King. In the space, there were 13 illusory figures of divine dragons and other dragon species. When they saw Wang Xian, they greeted him. Greetings, Dragon Kings of the ancestral dragon bloodline. Wang Xian swept his gaze across. There were 5 pinnacle dragon species, and one of them was a berserk dragon. There were purebred divine dragons of metal, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, thunder, and darkness. However, there was no light divine dragon. Chapter 3542. Greetings, Dragon King of Dragon Palace. The 13 pinnacle experts of the ancestral dragon bloodline greeted Wang Xian. Dragon King, I heard from Azure Dragon Shadow and Azure Dragon Moon that you are confident of defeating the sacred dragon bloodline if we join forces? The Golden Dragon looked at Wang Xian and asked. That's right. I'm confident with our Dragon Palace and all of you. Wang Xian looked at the Golden Dragon and nodded. He continued. Dragon Kings of the ancestral dragon bloodline, can you tell me how many third-order universe sovereigns the sacred dragon bloodline has? The sacred dragon bloodline should have 19 third-order universe sovereigns. Our ancestral dragon bloodline has 13. 2 of them are uncontactable. One was killed by the son of the holy dragon not long ago. One of the demonic dragons in the center replied. Other than that, the sacred dragon king of the sacred dragon bloodline cannot be compared to an ordinary third-order sovereign realm expert. According to the information sent to me by our ancestral dragon leader, the sacred dragon king has 4 to 5 primordial treasures. Most of them were given to him by the angel race. Also, there's another piece of bad news. Our leader has 2 innate cardinal treasures. They should be in the hands of the sacred dragon king. The berserk dragon beside him answered. Huh. So many innate cardinal treasures? Wang Xian was taken aback when he heard the news. What the heck? There were 6 to 7 innate cardinal treasures? The terror of innate cardinal treasures was still fresh in Wang Xian's mind. These things were strange. There was only 1 innate cardinal treasure in the entire Dragon Palace, and it was in the hands of Tianjun. The source of curses, the devil's corpse, was extremely strange. And the sacred dragon king had so many of them? This caused him to frown slightly, and a trace of seriousness appeared on his face. There are quite a few, but we don't know if the angels have taken them. If they haven't, the sacred dragon king's strength is terrifying. However, it will be difficult for a third-order universe sovereign to control 3 to 4 innate cardinal treasures. The green dragon said. Dragon King, are you confident? The golden dragon emphasized his question again. Yes. Wang Xian nodded. Although the sacred dragon bloodline had more innate cardinal treasures, he was still confident. After all, there were 13 third-order universe sovereigns in the Dragon Palace. There were also himself, the Water Tentacle King, Sky Formation, and other extraordinary experts. Wang Xian still had the confidence to fight against the sacred Dragon King. The eyes of the Dragon Kings of the ancestral dragon lineage flickered. In addition, there is a blessed grotto heaven under the eternal heaven river of our Dragon Palace. That blessed grotto heaven can withstand the attack of a true universe ruler. Wang Xian added. Oh. It's extremely rare to find a paradise that can withstand a true ruler's attack. The Fire Dragon King was slightly taken aback. All of them looked at each other and said, however, one of our ancestral dragon leaders' innate cardinal treasures can greatly weaken the power of a formation like the Blessed Enclave. So, as the Fire Dragon King spoke, its expression turned ugly. Upon hearing their words, Wang Xian was slightly speechless. Is that even possible? I'm not worried about the Holy Dragon bloodline. What I'm worried about is whether the other subsidiary races of the angels will help the Holy Dragon bloodline. said Wang Xian. The group of dragon kings from the ancestral dragon's lineage was a little silent, because they knew about this as well. Wang Xian looked at them. From the looks of it, he couldn't place too much hope on them. How about this, everyone? I think we can gather together and come to my dragon palace, he said directly. Anyway, you guys don't have any good ideas. If you are found one by one, you won't be able to resist at all. If we gather together, we can also resist. Gathering together concerns the life and death of the entire ancestral dragon lineage. Let's think about it. The group of experts from the ancestral dragon lineage looked at each other. They couldn't be sure immediately. All right. If everyone is willing to join forces, let me know. Wang Xian nodded and exited the chat. Can this dragon king be trusted? Seeing Wang Xian's figure disappear, the water dragon king looked at the golden dragon and asked. It shouldn't be a problem. The dragon palace killed a few light divine dragons and annihilated the 100 Cities Alliance. I don't think they have joined forces with the holy dragon lineage, the golden dragon said. I don't think so. I've done some research on this dragon palace. They have always been on our side, the wind divine dragon among them said. Then, should we gather together? Lei Long looked at them and asked again. The group of experts from the ancestral dragon lineage frowned slightly. This was a decision that concerned the life and death of the entire ancestral dragon lineage. They didn't dare to make a decision blindly. Once they made the wrong decision, they would have to pay the price of the entire ancestral dragon lineage. Now that the leader of the ancestral dragon lineage was dead, they had lost their backbone. No one wanted to be the sinner of the entire ancestral dragon lineage. Wang Xian exited the chat space of the peak experts of the ancestral dragon lineage and shook his head slightly. The death of the leader of the ancestral dragon lineage was a huge blow to them. Moreover, they hadn't gathered together for a long time, and none of them could take charge of the overall situation. Although every peak expert of the ancestral dragon lineage could take charge of the overall situation, they didn't dare to make a rash decision on such a matter. Wang Xian didn't say anything either. This was up to them. What he needed was a strong ally that he could trust. Moreover, it didn't matter to the Dragon Palace even if they didn't have the ancestral dragon lineage as an ally. If war really broke out, the Dragon Palace wouldn't be afraid. Prime Minister Turtle, pay attention to the various movements of the sacred dragon lineage. If the peak experts of the ancestral dragon lineage are killed, the experts of the ancestral dragon lineage might not be able to sit still. Wang Xian ordered Prime Minister Turtle. Yes, Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle nodded. There's a city ahead. Teleport directly through the city. Time passed day by day and Sun Shenglong and the rest were rushing towards the Dragon Palace. They looked at the information on the Universe AI and flew towards the city ahead. With Sun Sheng as the leader, the experts of the sacred dragon lineage flew directly towards the city. They exuded an extremely terrifying aura. When they arrived in the sky above the city, the experts in the city finally reacted. Welcome, lords of the sacred dragon lineage. They saw the group of Sun Sheng and the rest with dragon horns on their heads and greeted respectfully. We want to use the teleportation formation. An old man from the sacred dragon lineage said plainly. Lords, please use it. The experts in the city didn't dare to have any objections and immediately led them to the teleportation formation respectfully. Chapter 3543. Buzz. Seeing the experts of the sacred dragon bloodline leave through the teleportation formation, the experts in the cities heaved a sigh of relief. They wiped the cold sweat off their foreheads. Just now, they were also extremely nervous. Facing such experts, they did not dare to disobey at all. The sacred dragon bloodline was not a kind bloodline. Now the news of the ancestral dragon bloodline's peak expert, Feng, was already known to all the experts. Similarly, the news of the water cloud race's annihilation was also known to them. An advanced race was easily annihilated by them. Such a terrifying existence could not be provoked. Otherwise, it would be death. The sacred dragon son and his group quickly shuttled through the cities. Soon, the route and information of the sacred dragon bloodline's sacred dragon son and the other experts were sent to the Universe AI. Now, the sacred dragon bloodline's war to unify the divine dragon race had begun. This had become the matter that attracted the most attention in chaotic continent. The rout of the sacred dragon son and his group naturally attracted a lot of attention. Initially, they used the teleportation formations in a dozen cities to travel. Eventually, they used dozens of teleportation formations to travel. Soon, they discovered some information. That was, every time the sacred dragon son and his group teleported, they would be closer to the eternal heaven river. In other words, their target might be the Dragon Palace. 4 months later, when the experts and disciples on the Universe AI discovered that the sacred dragon son and his group had once again arrived at another race's territory to teleport, they could confirm one thing. The sacred dragon son and the sacred dragon bloodline's target is the eternal heaven river's Dragon Palace. There's no doubt about it. Their route is definitely the Dragon Palace. The sacred dragon bloodline's second target is the Dragon Palace? They are going to destroy the Dragon Palace? Are they going to attack the Dragon Palace? Facing the sacred dragon son and his group of experts, can the Dragon Palace withstand them? Definitely not. Even if the sacred dragon king did not make a move, the Dragon Palace is not a match for the sacred dragon son and his group. I wonder how the Dragon Palace will withstand them? Should they flee immediately or hide? On the Universe AI, the news about the sacred dragon bloodline's next target, the Dragon Palace, was buzzing. All the experts and disciples of the various races were discussing it. The Dragon Palace, as well as all the experts and disciples of the ancestral dragon's lineage who had been paying attention to the sacred dragon's lineage, received the news immediately. I didn't expect the sacred dragon bloodline's target to be our Dragon Palace. When Wang Xian saw this news, his face was filled with astonishment. Sun Sheng and the rest did not attack the scattered experts of the ancestral dragon bloodline. Instead, they chose the Dragon Palace. What do you mean? Are you afraid that we'll escape or something? Wang Xian revealed a smile on his face when he saw the news. According to the Universe AI's information, the Holy Dragon King clearly did not make a move. Instead, it was the Holy Dragon Son who led a group of Holy Dragon Bloodline warriors to attack. As for the Son of Dragon Saint, Wang Xian did not take him seriously at all. When Wang Xian knew that the Sacred Dragon King had at least 6 to 7 inborn cardinal treasures, he might have taken him more seriously. How many connate cardinal treasures could a mere Dragon Saint have? He didn't believe that there would be 3 or 4 connate cardinal treasures. Dragon King, according to the information we received, the Holy Dragon Son and his group should have around 10 third-order sovereigns. There shouldn't be more than 13 or 14. Prime Minister Turtle reported to Wang Xian. Wang Xian chuckled. Get ready immediately. If they are here to attack us, receive them well, and get the sky array ready. Yes, Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle revealed a smile. Their Dragon Palace loved such opponents. If the Sacred Dragon King personally led the Holy Dragon bloodline to attack the Dragon Palace, it would be extremely difficult for the Dragon Palace to eliminate the other party's experts. But now they only sent a portion of their experts. Weren't they here to deliver resources? Naturally, they would welcome such a good dragon warmly. Wang. At this time, Wang Xian received a series of messages on the Universe AI. Green Dragon Moon, Green Dragon Suing, and Golden Dragon King. They were reminding Wang Xian to be careful, or to lead the Dragon Palace's experts to leave this place immediately. Wang Xian smiled when he saw these messages. From the ancestral dragon bloodline's point of view, although the Dragon Palace had some strength, they only had 3 to 4 third-order sovereigns. How could 3 to 4 third-order sovereigns resist the Holy Dragon Son and his group? They couldn't resist at all. Don't worry, our Dragon Palace will be fine. Wang Xian sent them a message to tell them not to worry. This time, he was going to make the entire great desolate continent boil with excitement once again. The Dragon Palace is going to be in danger? At the same time, in the faraway land of Devil's Bones, the Spirit Demon King of the Spirit Demon Clan was in a special space. When he saw the message on the Universe AI, he frowned slightly. He looked to the front. In front of him, the flesh of Spirit Red Bone was slowly condensing, and the sound of her heart beating could be heard. At the same time, A powerful force shot out from her body. Although she hadn't reached the Universe Lord realm, she was already a terrifying existence. Based on Redbone's current situation, she should only need 2 years to fully grow her flesh. By then, she should be a half-step Universe Lord. The Spirit Demon King murmured, took out the Universe AI, and immediately sent a message to Wang Xian. In the Dragon King Hall of the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian was replying to some messages. When he saw the message from the Spirit Demon King, he smiled. The message from the Spirit Demon King wasn't much, just 6 words. Do you need reinforcements? As long as Wang Xian said the word, the Spirit Demon King would bring people over. Thank you for your concern, Senior Spirit Demon King. We can handle it, don't worry. Wang Xian replied to him. The Spirit Demon King smiled when he saw this message. He had full confidence in the strength of Wang Xian and the Dragon Palace. The Diablo Sorcerer clan was a sorcerer, and the leader of the Diablo Sorcerer clan was an array sorcerer. The Dragon Palace was able to infiltrate the lair of an array sorcerer and kill him, as well as another third-order sovereign realm expert. This strength wasn't something that only 3 or 4 third-order universe lords could achieve. At least 6 or 7. 6 or 7 was just his guess, but it wouldn't be a problem to use them for a defensive battle. Moreover, the Dragon Palace might be even stronger. I guess after Redbone improves, given her character, she will go out to help the Dragon King. The Spirit Demon King's eyes flickered. He hesitated for a moment, took out the Universe AI, and contacted someone. That was a person he had never wanted to contact, but now his daughter would eventually go to that person's place. His daughter was also his pride. Chapter 3544. Sun Xinglong, we only need to fly for a month, and we will be able to reach the Dragon Palace in the Eternal River. Time passed day by day. When Xinglong and the group of experts flew out of a city, an old man spoke to Xinglong. Any other news about the Dragon Palace? Sun Xinglong asked plainly. There's no other news about the Dragon Palace on the AI. They don't seem to be making any moves. However, that doesn't mean that they might have left secretly, said the old man. He escape? If they have already escaped, we will continue chasing. Sun Xinglong's eyes flashed with murderous intent as he said confidently, even if they escape to the ends of the universe, we will be able to catch them and kill them. The group of experts from the sacred dragon bloodline smiled and nodded their heads. And when Xinglong and the others flew out of the last city, the universe's AI systems news quickly spread out. Sun Xinglong and the rest are going to destroy the Dragon Palace. I wonder what's the situation there? Is there anyone who is brave enough to go take a look at the Eternal River? Ha ha ha, there's really such a thing. As long as you have a special innate spiritual treasure or some high-tech telescope, you can watch from afar without being affected. If they really fight, it will be a battle between third-order universe sovereigns. The area affected will be huge. Moreover, there might be terrifying killing weapons like innate cardinal treasures. On the AI, the experts and disciples of the various forces were discussing. Some daring people were already flying towards the everlasting river of heaven. They couldn't get close to a battle of this level, but they could watch from afar through some treasures. The chances of being affected were slim. Within the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian was looking at the messages on the Universe AI with a smile on his face. He scanned his surroundings and waited quietly. In less than half a year's time, it was basically confirmed that the Sacred Dragon Bloodline had sent out 11 experts this time. 11 third-order universe sovereigns. The reason for this number was because even if all the pinnacle experts of the Ancestral Dragon Bloodline gathered to ambush them, they could still escape. With this number, they could easily retreat. This time, I will make at least half of you stay. Wang Xian's eyes shone brightly. 1 month passed by very quickly. Shenglongzi and the others arrived in the sky above the Eternal Heaven River. They smiled and flew towards the place where the water from the heavens was falling. That was the lair of Dragon Palace. Haha, a few decades ago, Lord Archangel Gabriel fought with a giant star beast here. He easily injured the giant star beast and almost killed it. Today, let's destroy the Dragon Palace here. An old man looked ahead and said with a smile. I wonder who gave the Dragon Palace the confidence to not run away. Sun Shenglong looked at the dragon-seeking ruler in front of him. Under the guidance of the dragon-seeking ruler, there was a large number of divine dragon bloodline practitioners ahead. This meant that the Dragon Palace did not escape. Perhaps they want to submit to our sacred dragon bloodline, a middle-aged man said with a smile. Haha, if they kneel down and submit to our sacred dragon bloodline, I can consider taking them into the sacred dragon bloodline. Sun Shenglong laughed loudly and increased his speed. Walala! The water from the heavens fell and made a loud noise. Sun Shenglong and the rest looked down and flew down. They're here. Sun Shenglong and the rest of the experts from the sacred dragon bloodline are here. 11 Third Order Universe Sovereigns and over 20 Second Order Universe Sovereigns. Their strength is too terrifying. The Dragon Palace did not escape. I wonder what trump card they have. The Dragon Palace is obviously not a match for Sun Shenglong and the rest. Are they going to submit to us? The possibility is small, right? That's hard to say. Maybe they will really submit. The sacred dragon bloodline is too strong now. They even have the angel clan behind them. At the same time, at a place far away from the water from the heavens, many bold experts rushed over to watch the battle. They used various means to show the scene of the water from the heavens. They could see the Dragon Palace below. However, they were too far away. It was fine to watch during peaceful times. Once a battle broke out, they might not be able to see it clearly. However, they did not care. They only wanted to know the outcome of the battle. Swoosh! Sun Shenglong and the rest fell into the eternal river of heaven. They stared coldly at the Dragon Palace below. The corners of their lips curled into a sinister smile. In the Dragon Palace, Wuxia walked out of the Dragon Gate slowly and looked at Sun Shenglong and the rest of the experts in the sky. Ha ha ha, Dragon King of the Dragon Palace? I couldn't kill you previously because of the Spirit Demon King. Who would have expected you to break through in the blink of an eye? When Sun Shenglong saw Wuxia, he immediately recognized him as the expert from the Dragon Palace that he had hunted previously. However, he was stopped by the Spirit Demon King previously. The Spirit Demon King had an innate cardinal treasure, and they were in the territory of the Spirit Demon tribe. Hence, he did not dare to go all out. The guy who was protected by the Spirit Demon King was actually the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace? How strong could he be when he had just broken through to the Third Order Universe Sovereign Realm? Even if he had an innate cardinal treasure, Sun Shenglong was confident that he could kill him easily. Hee Sun Shenglong, long time no see. Wuxia swept his gaze across Sun Shenglong and the rest of the experts from the sacred dragon bloodline. He revealed a faint smile. It has indeed been a long time. Seeing Wuxia's indifferent expression, Sun Shenglong looked around and squinted his eyes. Dragon King of the Dragon Palace, I'll give you a choice. Kneel down and submit to the sacred dragon bloodline, and I can spare your life. You want us to submit to a bunch of lackeys? You want all the members of the Dragon Palace to be dogs? Wuxia stared at Sun Shenglong with a face full of ridicule. Being dogs is an insult to us. You're courting death. Sun Shenglong was instantly infuriated by Wuxia's words. He, the sacred dragon bloodline, hated people who said that they were the dogs of the angel tribe. If anyone dared to say that, he would make them suffer a fate worse than death. Dragon King of the Dragon Palace, I'm going to kill you and place your head in our Dragon Palace as a decoration. Sun Shenglong's eyes were bloodshot and filled with a sinister look. He roared and immediately transformed into the body of the light divine dragon. Waves of horrifying aura surged downwards. You're courting death. Welcome your death. After we annihilate the Dragon Palace, it won't be long before the sacred dragon bloodline becomes the divine dragon tribe. The group of experts from the sacred dragon bloodline bellowed coldly. He had no idea of death or danger. He actually dared to insult them. Chapter 35-45. The divine dragons roared and the experts of the sacred dragon bloodline immediately transformed into their divine dragon forms, staring coldly at the dragon palace below. Their imposing aura surged towards the dragon palace. The current dragon palace was still unable to withstand their attacks, and seemed to be on the verge of collapse. The experts from the sacred dragon bloodline stared coldly at the dragon palace. Don't do anything. I'm going to kill the Dragon King personally and take his head. Sun Shenglong let out a low roar and said with an ice-cold expression. He swooped down and extended his dragon claws. The innate cardinal treasure twin dragon eyes and sacred peak gradually appeared behind him. Hee Sun Shenglong, do you want to fight one-on-one? Wang Xian stared at Sun Shenglong with a mocking look as he scanned the innate cardinal treasures on him. There were only 2 of them. He thought there would be more. I'm going to pull out your tendons and pull out your bones. Sun Shenglong stared at Wang Xian with murderous intent as he said coldly. They're fighting. They're so fast. We can't even see them when they start fighting. They're fighting so soon. The Dragon Palace seems to be on the verge of collapse. I guess it's over. I think we can get closer. Gosh, a real battle. In an extremely distant location, the group of bold experts saw Shenglong Zi move through various auxiliary tools. Their faces were filled with shock as they roared in a low voice. The only pity was that they couldn't see clearly once Sun Shenglong moved. Some experts were considering if they should get closer. One-on-one, I can kill you easily. Sun Shenglong's eyes were filled with disdain and coldness when he heard Wang Xian. Not long ago, he had easily killed a third-order universe sovereign from the ancestral dragon bloodline. Now that he was facing the Dragon King of Dragon Palace, he was confident that he could kill him easily. As for the possibility of other third-order universe sovereigns in the Dragon Palace, he wasn't worried at all. If any Dragon Palace experts dared to launch a sneak attack, the experts from the sacred dragon bloodline would blast them into pieces. Hee. Wang Xian smirked as he looked at the confident Sun Shenglong. The unbeginning saint wings gradually appeared behind him. The 5 elements grindstone and the Tai Chi dragon coil faintly appeared. Lingling also appeared on his shoulder with the water tentacle king on his shoulder. At this instant, Wang Xian moved. His figure immediately disappeared. At this moment, Sun Shenglong's pupils shrank as he quickly scanned his surroundings. He saw a shadow charging towards him at a terrifying speed. Do you think I can't see it? The son of the sacred dragon let out a deep roar. Both his dragon eyes lit up and 2 beams of light shone towards Wang Xian's body. Whoosh! However, at this moment, the 5 elements grindstone spun, and the 5 divine dragons on it poked their heads out and attacked the pair of dragon eyes. Bam! The light emitted by the pair of dragon eyes was blocked by the 5 elements grindstone. Furthermore, the grindstone did not slow down in the slightest as it shot towards the pair of dragon eyes. What? A Khanate cardinal treasure? When Sun Shenglong saw that the attack of his Khanate cardinal treasure dragon eyes was actually blocked, his expression changed slightly. Competing with primordial cardinal treasures? Haha, good Saint Peak. He let out a ferocious roar. The inborn cardinal treasure sacred peak on his body trembled, and immediately turned into a horrifying giant peak that pressed down on Wang Xian. Wang Xian's body shook a little, and the dark ghost doppelganger appeared from his body. Lingling waved the water lotus staff in her hand, and waves of energy were added to the dark ghost doppelganger. Roar! Roar! The dark ghost doppelganger transformed into a divine dragon, and charged towards the Saint Peak. Rumble! Intense collision sounds were heard once again. With the support of Lingling, the dark ghost doppelganger took on the son of the sacred dragon's second Khanate cardinal treasure. Wang Xian stared at the son of the sacred dragon with disdain. Swoosh! The unbeginning sacred wings flapped, and his speed increased exponentially once again. What? At this moment, the son of the sacred dragon was shocked. His arrogant face was filled with astonishment, and his eyes couldn't help but narrow. Oh no! In the sky, the experts from the sacred dragon lineage, who were watching the battle indifferently, had a drastic change in their expressions. Watch out, son of the sacred dragon lineage! The group of experts from the sacred dragon lineage roared as they made their moves immediately. This counts as 3 moves. Instant kill. The son of the sacred dragon could no longer see Wang Xian. He wanted to fly up into the sky immediately, but a voice rang in his ears. Arg! The next moment he felt an immense pain coming from his head. The threat of death shrouded him. No! His face was filled with shock and anger as he roared. Bam! However, in the next moment he saw his head being chopped off and his life force rapidly dissipating. That's it? How dare you be so arrogant in front of me? Wang Xian held the head of the son of the sacred dragon, and said with disdain and sarcasm, "That's it. That's it." The son of the sacred dragon's eyes widened, and his dragon blood gushed out continuously. How could this be possible? He was the son of the sacred dragon. With 2 connate cardinal treasures, he could easily kill an existence of the same level. Yet, in front of the Dragon King he couldn't even withstand 3 moves. Saying 3 moves might be overestimating him. The other 2 moves were the other party blocking the attacks from his connate cardinal treasures. Let go of our son of the sacred dragon. Stop. If you dare to kill our son of the sacred dragon, the sacred dragon lineage will grind your bones into dust. When the experts from the sacred dragon lineage saw this, their eyes were popping out as they roared and threatened. Wang. But at this moment, the sky suddenly changed. Illusory figures of divine dragons appeared in the surroundings. Space Shackle. 11 Third Order Universe Sovereigns dare to annihilate my dragon palace? Wang Xian lifted his head, looked into the sky, and let out a sinister laugh. Kill them. In the next moment, terrifying roars came from within the dragon palace. Berserk dragon species, thunder dragon, starwood dragon species, venomhorn dragon species, roving heavens, and the rest flew into the sky. The 11 Third Order Universe Sovereigns were filled with murderous intent. Boring, I haven't even made a move. Next, I'm going to kill a lackey. The Water Tentacle King looked at the head of the son of the sacred dragon. She fixed her gaze on a radiance divine dragon. The lackey of the Angel clan was the enemy of the Water Tentacle King. Bam! Wang Xian waved his arm, and the head and body of the son of the sacred dragon landed in front of the dragon palace. He flapped his unbeginning sacred wings, and moved immediately. What? How is this possible? How is this possible? When the experts from the dragon palace moved, all the experts from the sacred dragon lineage were completely dumbfounded. When they felt the terrifying strength of the experts from the dragon palace, their expressions changed drastically. The terrifying aura was much more than what they had on their side. There were more than a dozen Third Order Universe Sovereigns in this dragon palace. Chapter 3546. How can the Dragon Palace have so many pinnacle experts? How is this possible? The Sacred Dragon Bloodline had 10 Third Order Universe Sovereigns, and over 20 Second Order Universe Sovereigns. They were in disbelief at the sight before them. Over a dozen Third Order Universe Sovereigns? This was something that the Divine Dragon Bloodline had developed for countless years, and had obtained some resources as rewards from the angel race. But the Dragon Palace? It had only been a short time and they already possessed such terrifying strength. Most importantly, the Dragon King and the terrifying Dragon Palace. They had killed their sacred dragon son in 3 moves. Their sacred dragon son had 2 inborn cardinal treasures. Run, run, run. Run now. Seeing the experts of Dragon Palace charging towards them, the 10 peak experts of the sacred dragon lineage did not hesitate and roared sternly. Run. Given the strength of the Dragon Palace, they were no match for them. This was the territory of the Dragon Palace. If they were not careful, they might die here. Besides, the 10 sacred dragon sons could still resist a little. However, over 20 Second Order Sovereigns weren't enough to stop the Dragon Palace's attack. Run, they had no hesitation. There's a flight restriction array around. Break it. One of the Radiance Divine Dragons roared in anger. I'll do it. Break it. The Radiance Divine Dragon in the center roared, and a pair of scissors appeared above him. The scissors were gray and did not look like they had any attributes. The scissors opened up and cut towards the void. The surrounding Divine Dragon shadows began to crumble rapidly. What? The Dragon King? They have powerful inborn cardinal treasures. Down below, when Tianjin saw his forbidden space formation being broken, he roared in shock. Kill as many as you can. Wang Xian locked his gaze on a Radiance Divine Dragon that appeared beside him instantly. Scram! The Light Divine Dragon had a drastic change of expression. It stirred up the horrifying dragon power, and swept towards Wang Xian with the boundless power of light. Facing Wang Xian's attack, he did not dare to be careless. His first move was the law of Dharma. As the radiance swept across, Wang Xian's expression remained unchanged. The Taichi dragon disc revolved around him. Lingling waved the magic staff in her hand, and energy enveloped him. Die. Wang Xian's arm turned into a dragon claw and clawed at the Radiance Divine Dragon's tail. Try Mad One, Gad 2. O catch X. You're courting death. When the Light Divine Dragon saw that Wang Xian dared to grab his dragon tail to attack, his face turned hideous. The Dragon King was probably looking for trouble. However, in the next second, his malevolent expression froze. He felt that his dragon tail had struck a terrifying surface, and an extremely powerful rebounding force surged into his body. Pooh! He couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. He was severely injured in an instant. Immediately after, he felt the world spin around him. Waves of terrifying energy surged into his body, and his vitality quickly disappeared. Bam! His body smashed heavily in front of the Dragon Palace, and his vitality gradually disappeared. The second Light Divine Dragon was instantly killed. Now Third-Order Universe Sovereigns without innate cardinal treasures couldn't even withstand one move from Wang Xian. Kill. The second Divine Dragon was slain. Wang Xian immediately locked onto the next moment. Not good, not good. Third brother was killed. The death of the Light Divine Dragon caused the expressions of the surrounding Sacred Dragon Bloodline experts to change drastically as they roared in horror. Their faces were filled with astonishment. A Third-Order Universe Sovereign was killed in an instant? Was the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace a terrifying existence in the Universe Sovereign realm? How could he be so strong? Give it your all. The Third-Order Universe Sovereign Light Divine Dragon with innate cardinal treasure swept a glance below and roared in fear. If they didn't give it their all and escape, all of them would be killed. Why was the Dragon Palace so strong? Now they finally understood why the Dragon Palace didn't escape after knowing that they were coming. Because the Dragon King wasn't afraid of them. They even felt that it would be difficult to kill the Dragon King alone, even if they joined forces. It was too terrifying. Rumble. In the next moment, all the experts from the Sacred Dragon Bloodline unleashed their strongest energy. They wanted to escape. Space Scissors. The Light Divine Dragon with innate cardinal treasure roared and scissors towards the space around his comrade. The space around his comrade seemed to be cut off, forming a separate space. He quickly returned to his own holy kingdom. Boom! Roving heavens blasted towards him but was blocked by that strange space. A Light Divine Dragon had escaped. Try Mad One, Gad 2. Catch X. Ah! No. At this moment, screams rang out once more. What? The Sacred Dragon Bloodline expert with innate cardinal treasure looked over, and his eyes turned bloodshot. 20-odd Second-Order Universe Sovereigns from the Sacred Dragon Bloodline screamed in pain. A figure of light and darkness was swiftly reaping their lives. They couldn't resist at all. Spike Dragon Species. This is a strange Spike Dragon species. The Sacred Dragon expert with the innate cardinal treasure roared. Escape! He controlled the innate cardinal treasure to isolate the space around him. Then he scissors towards the space around his comrade. Escape? Have you asked for my permission? The Water Tentacle King roared and droplets of seawater covered the space that was cut off, completely blocking it. The water flowed towards the space, preventing the Sacred Dragon expert from escaping. What kind of attack is this? What kind of strange attack is this? The expert from the Sacred Dragon Bloodline roared in disbelief. With the obstruction of the water energy, his return to his holy kingdom would be interrupted instantly. You're courting death. At this moment, Wang Xian's figure flickered as he attacked the Light Divine Dragon with the innate cardinal treasure. Shit, the Dragon King has locked onto me. He has locked onto me. At this moment, even though he was in a special space, the Sacred Dragon Bloodline expert broke out in cold sweat. After witnessing Wang Xian's strength, he didn't dare to go against him. The Sacred Dragon expert with the innate cardinal treasure gritted his teeth. The gray scissors in front of him cut towards his back, creating a terrifying black hole. Run for your lives, run. He didn't dare to care about his comrade as he dove into the black hole and disappeared instantly. Ah! At this moment, another scream rang out. Bastard's lackey die. The tentacles of the Water Tentacle King squeezed into the space that was cut off and wrapped around the light divine dragon. Roar roar. A blood-curdling scream rang out. Another third-order sovereign from the sacred dragon bloodline was dead. No dragon tail, explode. At the side, the group of third-order sovereigns from the sacred dragon bloodline panicked when they saw this scene. An expert directly caused his own dragon tail to explode, blasting open a space and fighting for a chance to escape. Chapter 3547. Run. The son of the Holy Dragon was killed, one Dragon King was instantly killed, one was killed by the experts from Dragon Palace, and two escaped. Over 20 second-order universe sovereigns were all dead. The remaining 6 third-order sovereigns nearly pissed their pants in fear. One of the Radiant's divine dragons self-destructed his dragon tail, and terrifying energy filled the surroundings. He desperately flew towards the black hole in front of him. As long as he entered the black hole, he would have a chance to survive. His desperation had indeed prevented the experts of Dragon Palace from breaking through. That terrifying energy could severely injure a third-order universe sovereign expert. That Radiant's divine dragon risked his life to escape. When the other 5 light divine dragons saw this, a vicious glint flashed in their eyes as they roared ferociously. One of the Radiant's divine dragon's scales shone brightly, and the dragon's scales shot towards the surroundings. This horrifying dragon scale attack made the experts of Dragon Palace slightly change their expressions. Such a desperate attack could only be executed by 3 experts from Dragon Palace. Otherwise, it was impossible to defend against it. This was also the reason why 3 experts of the same level could only kill one. Once the other party unleashed his full strength, the chances of escaping were very high. Trying to escape? But at this time, Wuxia locked his gaze on the third-order universe sovereign Radiant's divine dragon, and his eyes flashed coldly. Whoosh! The unbeginning saint wings flapped, and Wuxia completely ignored the attacks of the Radiant's divine dragon scales, using the Tai Chi dragon coil to block them. How can you escape so easily? Wuxia's voice rang in his mind. What? When the Radiant's divine dragon heard Wuxia's voice, his eyes narrowed, and his face was filled with horror. He couldn't help but look behind him. Pfft! But at this time, Wuxia's dragon claws grabbed his body and flung him backwards. No, don't kill me. The Radiant's divine dragon roared in despair. Shit. The other 5 experts from the sacred dragon bloodline looked over, and their hearts clenched, and their faces were filled with fear. Explode. A Radiant's divine dragon self-destructed his innate spiritual treasure, and flew towards the black hole with all his might. Try Mad 1, Gad 2. Catch X. The other 4 also ran for their lives. As long as he could escape, it didn't matter how severe his injuries were. If you want to escape, Roving Heavens, Orochi, and Roving Demon, lock onto a Radiant Divine Dragon. Below, the Heavenly Array roared and layers of defensive arrays appeared around Roving Heavens and the rest. Roar. Kill them. How dare they destroy our Dragon Palace? You're courting death. Roving Heavens and the rest roared. With the protection of the Heaven Array, they charged indirectly. With the Heavenly Formation and their own defenses, they could defend against the self-destruction of their opponents and the attacks of Khanate numinous treasures. No. When the Radiant's Divine Dragon that was locked on saw Roving Heavens, and the rest charging over, its body shuddered violently. He didn't want to die. However, when he saw Roving Heavens and the rest rushing over, his face was filled with despair. On the other side, the Water Tentacle King wanted to lock onto a Light Divine Dragon, but seeing that they had already entered the black hole, it frowned slightly. It was too late. It was also too late for Wuxia. If a third-order Sovereign Realm Divine Dragon wanted to escape, it would be extremely troublesome to stop him. Roar. Accompanied by a Light Divine Dragon's agonized roar, the other 4 Light Divine Dragons disappeared. Bam! Roving Heavens grabbed the tail of the Radiant's Divine Dragon and threw it down heavily. Boom! That Divine Dragon was on the verge of death under their attacks and their own outburst. A terrifying battle had ended in an extremely quick manner. At this moment, Out of the 11 Third-Order Sovereign Realm Divine Dragon Bloodline experts, 5 were killed, while the remaining 6 escaped with serious injuries. As for the 20-odd Second-Order Sovereign Realm Divine Dragon Bloodline experts, all of them were killed. Luckily they escaped quickly. Otherwise, none of them would have been left alive. Orochi flew over, and said coldly, "Even if they escaped, it doesn't mean they survived." At this moment, Heavenly Array flew over from below. With a wave of his arm, the surrounding pools of blood flew towards his hand. Of the 6 Divine Dragon Bloodline Pinnacle experts that escaped, only 1 did not leave a trail of blood. The rest were left with blood, dragon scales, and large chunks of dragon tails. Heavenly Array moved his palm, and the devil's corpse, the source of curses, appeared in front of him. He sprinkled a pool of blood on the devil's corpse. Try Mad 1, Gad 2. Catch X. Soon, the entire devil's corpse began to change. From a human body, it transformed into a divine dragon. Is this an inborn cardinal treasure? Thundercry, Roving Heavens, and the other leaders of the dragon palaces looked over with curiosity. Just now, they had witnessed the power of an inborn cardinal treasure. Of course, this wasn't because of the Saint Dragon Sun's inborn cardinal treasure. The 2 inborn cardinal treasures of the Saint Dragon Sun were easily suppressed by Wang Xian. The power that erupted from the grayish scissors was terrifying. The ability to cut space was exceptionally strange. Wang Xian swept his gaze across Heavenly Array. He didn't need to say anything about using the devil's corpse to curse. Heavenly Array already knew what to do. He looked to the side. His eyes sparkled as he looked at the 2 inborn cardinal treasures. In a flash, he came before the pair of dragon eyes and reached out to grab it. Wang. When he touched it, a force of resistance came. Scram. This is the inborn cardinal treasure of the sacred dragon bloodline. Anyone who wants to take it will be the enemy of the sacred dragon bloodline. A strong force of resistance came. When the pair of dragon eyes encountered Wang Xian's unfamiliar aura, it tried to break free and fly away. Humph! Wang Xian snorted coldly as the 5 elements grindstone pressed down on it. Wang wang wang! The pair of dragon eyes tried to break free, but the force on it couldn't break free from the suppression of the 5 elements grindstone. Wang Xian reached out his dragon claws. Under the suppression of the 2 forces, the pair of dragon eyes stopped trembling and were held tightly in his hands. Another inborn cardinal treasure. Moreover, this inborn cardinal treasure was useful to him. After suppressing the pair of dragon eyes, Wang Xian reached out to grab the other inborn cardinal treasure, the sacred peak. Wang. When the sacred peak sensed the unfamiliar aura, a wave of energy vibrated out. Wang Xian felt this wave of energy and his expression changed. He couldn't help but fly backward. Swoosh. At this time, a pair of wings of light gradually formed on the sacred peak. The wings carried the sacred peak and flew far away. Suppress. When Wang Xian saw this, his expression changed. He instantly came to the top of the sacred peak. Waves of destructive 5 elements power pressed down. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.